From CBS News Bay Area, this is the Evening Edition.
And thanks for joining us. I'm Brian Hackney.
And I'm Andrea Nakano. We begin with a developing story out of Providence. 2 people dead, several others injured following a shooting on the campus of Brown University in Rhode Island. Moments ago, law enforcement confirmed officers are searching for the shooter. Police say they are looking for a man dressed in black who entered the physics and engineering building on campus. Authorities say 8 are in critical but stable condition. The campus and surrounding area have been told to shelter in place as they search for the gunman. President Trump has been briefed on the incident, and right now, federal agencies are working with local law enforcement.
And now to a promise of retaliation from President Trump. Today, 2 U.S. soldiers and a civilian interpreter were killed in an ambush in Syria. 3 others were wounded in the attack, which was carried out by a single gunman. Our Willie James Inman has the latest.
Pentagon officials say 2 U.S. Army soldiers and a U.S. interpreter were killed Saturday in an attack in Syria.
So we mourn the loss of 3 great patriots in Syria. You know how it happened. It was an ambush, terrible.
3 other U.S. personnel were wounded in the attack. The Pentagon says they were all part of a joint counter-terror operation with Syrian forces. No group has claimed responsibility for the killings, but President Trump said on Saturday he believes ISIS was behind the attack.
But this was an ISIS attack on us and Syria. And again, we mourn the loss and we pray for them and their parents and their loved ones.
U.S. Central Command said the gunman was engaged and killed. A Syrian government spokesperson said it had issued intelligence warnings to the U.S. prior to the attacks about a possible ISIS attack in the region. The U.S. has hundreds of troops deployed in eastern Syria as part of a coalition to fight against ISIS. The designated terror group was defeated in 2019, but still has sleeper cells within the country that carry out deadly attacks.
We will retaliate.
In a post on social media, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth reiterated the White House's resolve to crack down on those targeting Americans, writing, "If you target Americans anywhere in the world, you will spend the rest of your brief, anxious life knowing the United States will hunt you, find you, and ruthlessly kill you."
And back here in the Bay Area, another earthquake this morning. A 2.7 magnitude quake hit Sonoma County earlier today. It hit just southeast of Santa Rosa at 9:30. Only light shaking was reported within a 10-mile radius of the epicenter. No reports of any damage.
In other news, the investigation into that explosion near Hayward that led to a massive fire enters a new stage today. The NTSB is now interviewing first responders, construction workers, and PG&E employees. 6 people were injured in the fire and are now in stable condition, with injuries ranging from burns to bone fractures and respiratory issues. The Thursday explosion destroyed 3 buildings on 2 separate properties. It happened about 10 minutes after PG&E turned off a gas line that had been struck by a construction crew earlier in the day.
A popular San Francisco park finally has the playgrounds the city promised. The openings make it a big weekend for folks living in the densely populated Dogpatch neighborhood.
That's what it looks like now, but this is what it looked like before, when millions of dollars donated to build the playground were misused by a powerful nonprofit that ceased operations this past summer. Ellen has been reporting on the scandal and tells us how the Port of San Francisco managed to fulfill its promise to finish the park.
The scandal shocked the port and many young families that waited years for the playgrounds. They thought no money meant no playground. So this is a big surprise and an early Christmas gift for the community.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Port and city leaders joined the community on Friday to open the much-anticipated playgrounds at Crane Cove Park. Among the many excited neighbors is the Andrews family.
Shock, delight, even though it's a little chilly right now, just so much excitement to see this kinetic energy. Hold on tight, move one hand left.
RJ Andrews lives 2 blocks away. He and his wife follow the progress of the playgrounds even before their kids were born. The Port of San Francisco had hoped to open 2 playgrounds and a dog park as far back as 2020. So earlier this spring, when RJ learned that most of the $3 million donated by the Baker Street Foundation to build playgrounds have been mismanaged by a nonprofit, he was crushed.
A lot of disappointment when we learned that what was so close was lost.
The San Francisco Parks Alliance claims it used most of the donated money to pay staff. The scandal rocked the city and forced the powerful nonprofit to shut down over the summer.
We were all waiting a long time for this moment.
The Port of San Francisco shifted money around in its budget to find the funds needed to complete the project. The project manager at the port says it was emotional to finally see it finished and to see what it now represents for the neighborhood.
The design was supposed to evoke our maritime history here at the port, and so part of that, this was a historic shipyard. There's giant gantry cranes they use to actually work on the ships, and so the climbing structure for the slide looks a lot like that.
In fact, some of the play structures are made from materials recycled from the shipyard.
We would have been happy with any kind of playground equipment, but once we saw them assembling this day by day over a couple months, we got really excited because this is honestly, it looks like a playground from the future.
The neighborhood kids agree.
I like it. I like the swing. I like when the slide goes fast. My favorite part is everything.
Like the park?
Yes, I love it.
Do you think we'll be coming back here?
It's one of my favorites.
And RJ's 4-year-old son, Atlas, enjoys it too.
It's just one small playground, but for us, it's just, it's a symbol that things can happen and we can push things forward and do good.
The adults approve, and more importantly, the kids love it. As for the Parks Alliance, both the city attorney and the district attorney have launched investigations into the mismanagement of millions of dollars. Those investigations are still active.
And coming up, holiday celebrations kick off around the Bay. We'll take you to Union Square, where officials are giving shoppers a reason to return to downtown, including nice weather, Darren.
Oh yeah, it's going to get nicer. We are finally going to start breaking this pattern. I know we've been saying that forever, but there is meaningful evidence of a pattern shift. So much so we are even going to start talking about rain again. We'll show you when that's going to get here and how much might be coming. Forecast on that next. Okay, without further ado, I want to talk about this pattern change, which could finally be breaking this pattern of fog and cold temperatures. By the way, that was us today from the top of Mount Diablo. Once again, that's Concord down there. That is the Thule fog. Of course, it's more Thule stratus because it's not on the ground. But it never left for that part of the bay again today. That's time-lapse bringing us up to right to the last few hours. Really cool looking there. All right, let's talk about how we're going to break the pattern. Take a look at where we were. This is the satellite imagery that goes back to 1 o'clock yesterday. I'm going to start this over again. This is 1 o'clock on Friday. You see the pattern on here. 2 things stand up. There's the Thule fog we've been living with. But look out here in the Pacific. This is the storm track out here doing a big arcing loop. Everything's going up and around us. In fact, we put the center of high pressure on there. You see the big blocking high that everything had to go around. Watch what happened over the last few days. What you're going to see is this big donut hole is starting to give way. You see what's happening here? Storm track is starting to converge towards California, and it is now just about right off the coast there. That's a very different placement for the actual storm track. This is the beginning of breaking down that ridge of high pressure, and before long, we're going to get some rain out of this. Let me show you what that could look like. We'll go to the long-range forecast, and we'll say goodbye to that beautiful time lapse. Let's put the latest depiction on here for what rain could look like should this pattern shift. Got to get till Wednesday. But as we get into Wednesday, we're looking at Wednesday, December 17th. While most of the rain is still going to our north, this is just the first one. The first one usually is not going to be a blockbuster storm. You still have some changing of the pattern to do. You really got to break down that ridge a little more. So the first one just kind of brings you a little bit of rain for the North Bay. That's Wednesday. Maybe we get 1/10 of an inch of rain for everybody else. And then the one after that comes in on Friday, and this one now looks a little better. Almost the same kind of setup. It's just the storm's got better aim and it's able to deliver more rain to the south of us. Now we're going all the way ahead to Friday. In other words, a week from yesterday. But this one brings us more meaningful rain on Friday, and it extends into Saturday. And there's more coming after that if you keep going down that rabbit hole on the long-range forecast, and they all kind of look a little better than the one before it. Well, we're not going to do that just yet. It's nice to know that the pattern's going to change enough that at least here's the first one on Wednesday. So Wednesday, remember, you just get about 1/4 of an inch of rain. This is not a lot of rain. Maybe 1/10 of an inch of rain for everybody else. All right, then, at this point, as things stand, Thursday's a day in between. Timing could shift as we get closer, but for right now, Thursday's a day in between. And then Friday into Saturday, the next system comes in, and that puts down another coating of rain, more widespread and steady. And by that point now, we've got about 1 inch of rain, perhaps from the Golden Gate north. Very early, but this is where the possibility stands, and that's how the pattern could shift for us. Let's come back home for a second. Take a look at what is about to happen. The clouds are pretty much going to put on the same show again tomorrow that they did today. So let's just take a look at tomorrow morning's lows. You'll wake up, it'll be gray. You'll be looking at the same kind of pattern, and morning lows will be almost in the same exact place where they have been. And when we transition to daytime highs, you'll see almost an identical pattern here as well. Plan on the clouds staying gray through the morning, and then we should get a nice little break and some clearing as we get into the afternoon for just about everybody, just like we've been doing. So you can see Sunday still looks like every other day has for the last 3 weeks. But here's where things begin to change, and there's your chance of rain on Wednesday. Here's another opportunity beyond that. It's early, but we'll get more specific on details for timing and amounts as we get closer to it. For now, Brian, over to you.
I thought the big change was going to be sunny and warmer weather, but no. Why would I expect that? That's okay, we need the rain, as you hear perpetually this time of year. Around the Bay today, folks are joining holiday celebrations and dedicating their time to spread cheer. San Francisco's Winter Walk returned to the heart of the city. Mayor Daniel Lurie kicked things off with a ribbon cutting on Stockton Street. The celebration brings food trucks, live music, and local artists to the holiday marketplace. It's all part of an effort to bring shoppers and tourists back into downtown. Well, volunteers traveled to East San Jose this morning to hand deliver sledfuls of toys to kids. Organizers say the goal is to make sure that kids in the most vulnerable neighborhoods get the toys they want this Christmas.
All these kids and everybody, they need something. Everybody needs something. Right now it's hard times, so we're all getting together to help out each other.
Yeah, the event comes as a recent AP poll found that more than 60% of U.S. adults reported paying higher prices for gifts this holiday season. I'd like to know the 40% that paid less. Well, with less than 2 weeks to Christmas, our Food for Bay Area Families effort is also making sure that families have an enjoyable holiday period. Redwood Empire Food Bank just got a major boost to their efforts. Here's Veronica Macias.
Today we're at the Redwood Empire Food Bank, where you have a lot of people coming together for one effort here, and that's helping to fight hunger in their communities. We're joined by Edward Jones and friends that are telling us more about not just the money you contribute, but also your time.
Yes, hi. So at Edward Jones, giving back to our communities is a part of our firm culture. And over the past 5 years, associates up here in the North Bay have been volunteering on a regular basis, given our time and resources. We really feel good about working together and in the places that we live and work, and it means a lot to all of us. And so today, we're really proud to offer, to have this donation, this contribution to give, is another way to further the efforts of the Redwood Empire Food Bank.
A contribution of $20,000.
Yeah, feels
well,
good.
I'm sure that the food bank really appreciates it. Right, Rochelle? You can tell us more about what these dollars do for people in need, more faces coming to you day by day.
Oh, absolutely. We can stretch $1 like no one. we can take that money very far. And with the number of families that have been coming to see us for support, this is going to make such a big difference, not just through the holiday season, but into the new year. This is going to be a wonderful, wonderful gift for families and feed hope throughout the season.
We love to hear that. Providing hope for families. Remember, every dollar they get, they stretch it into 3. So if you'd like to help, go to kpix.com/give or scan that QR code on your screen.
And be sure to join us for our holiday special, Stories of Hope, airing Christmas night at 7 p.m. right here on KPIX, you'll be able to see all of our inspiring stories behind the efforts to feed families across the Bay Area.
SantaCon, baby.
You see it lights up, right?
Well, 'tis the season. San Francisco's holiday bar hopping affair is taking over the city tonight. SantaCon kicked off this afternoon in Union Square. From the marina to the Mission, the bars are packed this evening. Many of them have been preparing days for the influx of customers. Still, not all businesses are thrilled about it. They're welcoming people participating in the pub crawl, but some businesses are sour on the citywide celebration. They say the extra customers aren't worth the hassle. Santa himself was not a fan. He said the crowds have been getting a little too naughty over the past decade and has since turned the crawl into a toy drive.
There were stories of bad Santas out there doing bad things to bad people and to each other, and I said, enough. Put a stop to this. I am proud and honored to be involved in something like this, and I can only hope that it continues for many years to come.
And Santa tells us that last year, more than 8,000 gifts were collected for kids, and that, Andrea, is what it's all about.
It is. We'll see you back here at 6. The CBS Weekend News is coming up next.